All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. Do you understand?
Rightio Legends, Chaos Chronicles, and we're back with another video answering more questions again today. So today's question, but first, as always, if you guys haven't already subscribed, please jump down there, shoot me a subscription. That'd be absolutely appreciated. And if you hit that bell icon somewhere around there as well, you never miss any of my clips again. Alrighty. So the question today is, how about doing a video on one of the white gangs? I know the whites don't stick together just on race, but you got gangs like the POWs, which is arguably the most feared gang in the Victorian jail system. All right, so let's get into it. So I guess, first of all, I'll start off by saying we don't really have like white gangs like the American prison system have. Not in Victoria anyway. We don't have any of our yards or prisons separated or by race, whereas other states like New South Wales and Queensland and Western Australia and stuff like that are segregated by race, but that doesn't happen here in Victoria. So we don't get like the white gangs, like the white gangs here aren't really like Nazi gangs, if you will. And yeah, they are kind of like just crews really that are predominantly white because of the other crews that are getting around that are predominantly from another race, and so although what you said in your question is absolutely correct. Most Aussies don't stick together, and it does my head in, and it actually like breaks my heart that the Aussie boys don't stick together in prison. We're too busy like ripping each other off, stabbing each other, like just backdooring each other, and the whole camaraderie is not the same as the other races. So you've got like with the other races, like I've made videos before on like GFAM, and then you've got also like the Asians and stuff like that, the Muslims. They're big crews that people aren't messing with, but them crews are predominantly them people or all them people, whereas the white gangs aren't necessarily all white people. So I've picked a list of 4 prison gangs that operate in here in Victoria. Now, some of them aren't as big as what they used to be, but some of them are still pretty big. And yeah, so I thought I'd start off with RM. So they called their prison gang RM, which stands for Running Missions. And so originally, RM was just like an outside crew of people that were all into graph and Aussie hip hop and stuff like that. And then I guess, as they got older and started going to prison and stuff like that, it stepped over into the prison system. And so the RM boys were, very, very, pretty big prison crew in the early 2000s, but, started dying off in the early 2010s and stuff like that. But they were still a pretty big prison gang, and absolutely like were there, their name was Running Missions, and they were known for running missions. So yeah, there was one of them. There's another one that's MTS. So what does MTS stand for? I mean, who knows? There's so many different things what people say it stands for, and to be honest, I really don't even know. But I can remember, like from my prison time, like the MTS boys used to say, "Where you from? I'm from MT. MT what? Empty your pockets, mate." And like, yeah, that was their big funny saying that now that I think back, it's not that funny. But yeah, MTS, like a pretty big crew inside with a lot of like capable, like massive capable players in the scene. Now, predominantly they were a white crew, but they were like people that were like of there was a couple of people that were Aboriginal, there were a couple of people that were Pacific Islander descent. But yeah, once again, another prison gang that was, a lot stronger back in the early 2000s and kind of started dying off a bit in the late 2000s, but is still around to this day. And another thing that happened as well is there was this predominantly African gang in the western suburbs that started calling themselves MTS, and so and then when that started like crossing over into prison, it was starting dramas between the outside MTS crew and the inside MTS crew, which weren't predominantly African. And so yeah, there was a few dramas there over people claiming to be MTS and not the prison crew MTS. And so yeah, that absolutely definitely started some bullshit. And then yeah, there was also another one as well, which is still pretty big to this day. And so a lot of the boys from this are absolutely like weapons and well known for getting down and getting busy. And TFW stands for there for war, and all of these guys are like my age and just a little bit younger than me, so between 35 and 40ish, and they are literally another crew that's like definitely one to be reckoned with, and will definitely, if you step to them, like they're going to step to you like straight away. And they are a solid crew and are well known for taking out plenty and plenty of people, and well known for having sword fight stoushes with the other crews. So yeah, a very, very, very strong crew that has still got a pretty big foothold in the prison system right now. And yeah, well known for shank sandwiches and just being bad motherfuckers, really. And then I guess the last one, which would be one that you would imagine would be in every list of the Victorian prison gangs, and it's probably like you've said in the comment, is probably one of the most feared prison gangs in the Victorian prison system, if not the most feared prison gang in the Victorian prison system. Now I'm talking like these guys are doing things that other crews just aren't doing. So like I'm talking about, when they're going in to get somebody, they're going in 10 deep. And when I say they're going in 10 deep, they're going in 10 deep with shanks, sticky tape to both hands, sticky tape to one hand. And when I say shanks, I don't mean like little pokers. I'm talking big ass bone crushing shanks. The big ones that will smash your bones to pieces if they go in you. And so I did make a video on this, and so um, the general of the POWs, which his name is Matty Johnson, and I've made videos on this before. So he is the guy who is now in prison, got 35 years for unaliving Carl Williams at Barwon Prison. So this is just some of the things that these people are capable of, but also like another thing as well. So like there was two very well known members, and so there had been a falling out over, I believe, one of the POWs joining a bike club, and I believe the other members of the prison gang seen that as a type of betrayal. Now this is just I don't know if that's 100%, but this is the rumor on the prison vine. So they were pissed off that he joined a bike club, and so this is like so the general at the time and this guy were like the bestest of friends. They were best friends, and they were well known for being like two of the most dangerous prison people in the Victorian prison system. And so, I won't say his real name, but everyone used to call him Capable. And if he was unalived at a cafe in Melbourne last year sometime. But before that had happened, so there was an incident that took place where some of the people that were pissed off, so the POWs that were pissed off, had known that this person capable was on the next bus. And so people always ask me, how do they know? So like there is induction billets, and that they're people, their job is to look after the new inductees, prisoners, like getting them bed packs, coffees, and stuff like that. So they get a list before anyone knows. So, like, even before some of the screws know of who's going to be on that next bus tomorrow. And so they have that list, and that's how people find out. And so on this particular day, they had waited, and I've made videos on this before as well. When something happens at Barwon, they are getting people at that gate. Like, people aren't even getting a fucking second to put their bags down at their unit. They ain't even making it close to their unit. As soon as they walk out that gate, there are people propped up there waiting. And so, which is exactly what happened on this day. And so there was 7 or 8 blokes waiting, knowing damn well that the bus had just rocked up and other people were starting to come through. So they would have known that this person was about to come through. And there was 7 or 8 POWs there waiting for this guy that was at one stage a general at one stage as well, and had been a member of the POW since they started, right? But obviously him joining a bike club, which in the end, like, I don't even know if that was the case. Like, I know that they were telling him to stop telling people he was in a bike club and stuff like that, and he didn't. He got it tattooed on the back of his head. But anyway, moving on. So as soon as this guy walked through the gate, bang, he's pounced on by 8 of the most dangerous people in the Victorian prison system. And so, like, these are people that, like, 100% going to war to, and when they're attacking you, they're attacking you to take you off this world. So, like, so you aren't here tomorrow. They are literally doing what they're doing to unalive you, and that is their whole purpose. And so most of them had shank sticky tape to their hands, and they, yeah, absolutely stabbed the shit out of this guy. This guy got stabbed like 68 times. And but like, in this guy's defense, he absolutely put up a good fight in this scenario. And although 8 crazy mofos were like having a sword fight with him, and he had no sword, he absolutely put on a pretty good show for the people that were there to watch. That's for sure. And I will even say that, like, yeah, he kept fighting right to the very end. Like, the screws were trying to grab him out of there, and someone was on the ground, and he was booting someone in the ground on the ground, you know. So he had a fight to the very end. But the absolute truth is, not one of those 8 people got any injuries to them, and this person almost lost his life. So, like, this is absolutely how crazy some of the white prison gangs are. And so POWs, although is not a whole white prison gang, it used to be a white prison gang. People believe it used to stand for Power of White. At one stage, it probably did, but it stands for Prisoners of War. And yeah, there are definitely POWs that are from other races. So there's Africans in the POWs. There's no islanders in the POWs. That will never happen. But there's other races as well. You know, a couple of Middle Eastern races and stuff like that. But they are 100% probably the most dangerous prison gang in our prison system. Now, I'm not talking about today. I don't know. I haven't been back to prison for 4 years now. So, but when I was there last, they were still the number one contenders, and that is absolutely a fact. But coming very, very close behind them is TFW. You know what I mean? And so other people are going to be chiming in and saying, yeah, but what about GFAM and this and that? Well, I'm not talking about the other ethnicity gangs. I'm talking about the Aussie gangs, which was what the person had asked. And so, yeah, that was the answer to the question. I hope I answered that well enough for you. DY-TD3KU. Yeah, I hope I answered that well enough for you. The make no mistake about it. And just because I've made light in other videos that the Aussies don't stick together as much as the other races do, don't ever get it twisted that these guys will not fuck you up if you mess with them. They absolutely will turn the heat on in the kitchen when it needs to be turned on. Every single one of those white prison gangs, that the Aussie prison gangs that I mentioned, and they have all been well known for doing it over the years and over my years in prison. And yeah, that's why them four got the main mention. There are a lot more, but they are the main four, and probably have been the most main four over the last 10, 15, 20 years even. So yeah, there you go. Aussie prison gangs, they are absolutely fucking brutal and not to be messed with, just like any of the other prison gangs. So yeah, and these are the exact reasons why you don't want to go to prison. You don't want to have to deal with these mofos that have got no problem with slicing you up like you're a bit of cheese, absolutely like Swiss cheesing you, filleting you like you're a fish. They're crazy mofos that don't care, and when they come to get you, they're coming to get you for good, and that's what they're trying to do, and that's why they're so brutal. So yeah, don't do drugs and crime, and you won't end up in prison. It's as simple as that. I have been the Chaos Chronicles. You guys have been absolutely awesome. Once again, if you haven't already subscribed, jump down there, shoot me a subscription. That'd be absolutely appreciated. And if you hit that bell icon somewhere in this vicinity, you'll never miss any of my clips again. And yeah, that's it, guys. Don't do drugs and crime, and you won't end up in prison, and you won't have to deal with any of this bullshit. I've been the Chaos Chronicles.
The Chaos Chronicles, where the